were going to be in Toronto and had messaged me and called to say that you had a fantastic product that you wanted me to look at. But more importantly, because you were excited about the science of the scanner. And you thought that that would be something that I would be very interested in. And you were right. The supplementation business and industry is a multi-trillion-dollar industry of which there's generally no metric for what people are getting. And you came and showed me, Nobel Prize winning technology that has been applied to nutrition supplementation. And I found that fascinating because all of a sudden there was a metric so that we could measure what was going on. So having done a lot of research with the scanner, I then had a product experience myself, and I was quite amazed. I had a good score to begin with, but it did go up. And the things that I felt within me, as an athlete, as a surgeon, I'm quite attuned to it. It made a difference. And, it was after that then that I started speaking with a couple of oncologists down in the States because I felt that this would be critical for the malnourished cancer patient who is really cellularly malnourished, when they're coming to surgery. So ultimately I ended up using the products then with my oncology patients. And that's sort of how that's how it came about. But if it was a lot of research, it took about a year to a year and a half before I actually felt comfortable to put patients on it. But when I did put them on it, I was, 100% certain, and I was happy to have my name associated with it because it had proven and borne out that it was science-based.
So with the science-based and what would you say, why is that important?
It's critical, really. And again, as I said, the wellness industry or the nutrition supplement industry, you really don't know what you're getting in the vast majority of the supplements. And when you're getting them, you don't know if they're doing what they say they're doing. So people are spending money and they have no idea, actually, if they're garnering any benefit from what they're taking. When you're dealing with something as critical as a cancer patient, where everything matters and everything needs to be measured, and we need to know the interaction between chemotherapeutic agents, the surgery, the radiation therapy, and what's happening, at the microscopic level, cellularly. It's hugely important. If you go across Canada, there's not one oncologist that would allow a patient to take supplementation during their chemotherapy because they really have no idea what's in it, and there's cross-reactivity. It could render some of the chemotherapeutic medications that we give inadequate. So with the Pharmanex products, though, having done the research, they're the absolute highest grade. There's absolutely nothing in there that interacts with any of the chemotherapeutic agents that we give, with the exception of you can't have the ENT during chemotherapy. So that was one thing that we, having researched it, we weren't able to use. But other than that, we were able to use, a combination of products really aimed at, increasing the antioxidant level, and most definitely, given that when you're undergoing surgery, when you're undergoing chemotherapy, and you're having a massive cellular breakdown, you're effectively one big free radical. And this is going to enable you to help mop it up. So we came up with a combination of LifePak Nano, Vitality at the time, R2, Rishimax, and AIE10. And they each played a specific role.
Mm-hmm. So for general people, so some of those products we don't have in the market here. We have LifePak and Marine Omega, which is a combination that you get in LifePak Nano. We also have Tea Green, like as you mentioned. We have Rishimax that we can get from Holland, and of course our Squared. So we never say that we can cure or mitigate anything, especially not disease. Of course, you have had, you feel confident in recommending those to your patients. But if you look at a healthy person, why would a healthy person want to be having and taking our products?
Sure. So first, if I might just digress for 1 second, I also would never say that a supplement is going to cure a problem. But what it does is it acts as an adjunctive treatment or adjunctive therapy, because not, the gut is not working properly when you're receiving chemotherapy, when you're getting your radiation therapy. And it was the nanotechnology that enabled, the vast uptake of the nutrients. That was key. But no, I would never say that it would cure disease or anything like that. But it helped patients significantly. But we shouldn't be thinking about a model where we have to wait till we're sick before we start doing things for ourselves. I mean, we're in 2018. We should be looking at preventative things, given the lifestyle that we have, given the globe that we live in. And although we are eating well, we eat balanced diets, we're not absorbing everything that we're getting. And not only that, we use things differently. So we may think that we're getting a good diet and have replete in everything that we need. But actually, when you look at the scanner scores, healthy people, the vast majority, and I can only speak about North America, 80% of them fall under 20,000 as a number. So despite eating what we would consider to be well, we're still cellularly malnourished. So, it behooves us to actually look at things that we can do to improve our overall health. I mean, there's so much processed food and everything like that. But of course, there's not great nutrients in it, even when you're eating organic. So I just think, it's important for the healthy individual to, stay on top of things to help try and prevent onset of, age-related disease or disease related to malnutrition. Or, you can be obese, but you're malnourished cellularly. So that's where these things become very important. Then you take an active person. Well, even more so, you need to replenish what's being used. And, with the scanner, again, I mean, you're able to see what's happening, right? So it becomes, it's something for me that is a part of everyday life. I mean, supplementation, to aid my, cognition, because as we age, we get, age-related brain disorders and mild cognitive impairment, our muscular health, our cardiac health, our bone health. I mean, it's all covered within it. And it just seems foolish when there's something as good as this there to not be taking it.
Mm. And then for athletes, we talked a little bit earlier today about people who are active and more than just the regular person who's sitting a lot at work or something. People who are active or people who are a little more than the normal activity. They often try to take a few different supplements that like magnesium or different things so that they will, because they don't feel that they actually need it. So why do you say, or why would you think that it's better to have something that is giving the foundational nutrients than try to give the body, one or two specified, like, a lot of people are taking D.
It's like throwing darts at the wind. If you're just taking one or two things, I mean, the body doesn't work with, we need a little bit extra magnesium, or we need some calcium, or our sodium's a little high, so we need some free water to lower that. It's not how it works. It's a well-oiled machine, and everything acts intricately, where there's diffusion and osmosis across cell membranes. So you have to be replenishing with the full complement of what the body needs. And the body is smart enough, and the kidneys always do the right thing. Right? So if you have an excess of something, it's okay. I mean, as long as it's not toxic doses, you will just pee it out. But if you don't have enough of something, your body will go into overdrive to sustain itself, to survive, because that is the body's natural response to everything is to live. And a healthy person, a well person, can go along and not notice absolutely anything is wrong with them, because their body can compensate and compensate and compensate until they get to a point that the wheels then just fall off. So you would never know if you have vitamin deficiencies or electrolyte deficiencies until you get to a point where you're starting to get symptoms from them. And if you're getting symptoms from them, by then it's too late. I mean, you need to have something critical done. You need to be in an emergency department and getting infusions and things like that. So, as the body is always, it's going in a cycle all the time. things come in, things go out, right? It's always replenishing, it's always using, and then depending on the output that we have to match that with the input, right? Everything we put into our body is effectively fueling our engine. So what you put in is what you get out.
Mm. So would you say, or is there, what would you say that would be, is there a general way or general area there where most people, when they are, malnourished or undernourished, you could say, like, is it the brain that sort of isn't functioning as well, or is it somewhere else, or is that you can't generalize?
I don't think you can generalize. I mean, and everybody's different, right? So, but while we can't say what each specific individual may notice with, and I don't want to say malnourished, because I mean, we think of, children in Africa who aren't eating. That's malnourished. When I say we're cellularly malnourished, we still have more than enough electrolytes and minerals and nutrients in our body to sustain ourselves, but it's not primed for, should we have something critical happening. So while I can't tell you what each person is going to experience, as they have variances in, their different minerals and vitamins and all of that. What I can tell you is what they would experience or what they would report to me they had happening as they started to take the supplementation. And I think the most compelling evidence that I found, because a healthy person, they still feel healthy, but a patient who's getting chemotherapy, who, they've had a general surgical, or they've had a surgical procedure and a general anesthetic, that causes some cognitive impairment for, 6 weeks to 3 months. Then as they're getting their chemotherapy, there's cognitive effects from that. And I was amazed that within 3 weeks, they'd come into the office and they would say, "Thank you so much. I can read the paper and I'm seeing things on my computer screen again that I haven't seen in a while." And while their scan scores may not have been going up, subjectively, they were improving. But it would make sense that their scan scores wouldn't go up because they're rapidly using everything that they're taking as their cells are getting broken down from chemotherapy. As I said, they're one big free radical. So, I mean, I think that's an ideal population to be able to talk to this about as what's happening, because their effects are so dramatic. And, with the healthy population, they're going to get those effects as well. They'll notice that they have an improved amount of focus, that their energy is better, and all of those things. They just may not be able to quantify it the same way as somebody who, who's had everything sort of taken away. All of a sudden, their good cognition has become quite poor, if that makes sense to explain it that way.
Yeah, and I have one more question before I go and ask you about your experience with TR90. If you could explain the need or the necessity for antioxidants and why that is an important measurement that we use the scanner for.
Okay. Antioxidants are extremely important for our health, given that the breakdown products of toxins in the body, they produce free radicals. Okay, antioxidants are the prime defender against free radicals. Again, the environment we live in. I mean, here in North America, there's pollution. There's people smoking everywhere. There's car pollution. I mean, there's so much going on. We're exposed to things all the time in our body. So we always have free radicals being produced. Without a high antioxidant level, you're not really going to be clearing that. I mean, ultimately you do, but it has the potential to have harmful effects, right? And it's these free radicals that then cause tissue damage. And as we look at, say, cancers, I mean, we know a series of events have to occur in order for a gene to be either turned on or turned off, in order for something to happen, right? So if we're able to deal with one aspect of that by getting rid of free radicals, we're playing our part in helping ourselves to not develop potentially disease. Doesn't mean it's going to prevent it completely, but we increase our odds of not getting age-related diseases and things like that, or slowing the onset of them, because we're never going to stop them from happening.
Okay, That's good to know. Um, so we're about to have a fitness, not challenge, but a fitness opportunity where we have an online PT who's going to be coming in, and different people will have, different desires to either, lose weight or, get more fit and build body. And you used, amongst our other products, you also used our TR90 program. Can you share a little bit of your story of what you experienced with that product?
So being an athlete my whole life, and I've maintained an active lifestyle. I still work out all the time, and it's important to me to feel good, to look good, and it aids me in being able to do my day-to-day activities, as a cancer surgeon, as a father, which is probably the most important thing I do, more important than anything else. But to be able to be fully active and engaged with an 18-year-old who plays junior A hockey, and a 10-year-old who represents Canada in Taekwondo, if I'm not fully there, well, it's not very good. When I took TR90, I wasn't skeptical, but I was really quite interested to see if if the science was truly going to bear out, in that we know that after 25, we don't lay down or produce lean muscle anymore. We're more prone to produce fat. That's what happens when a youthful expression gene becomes an older expression gene. And TR90 says that it will revert the old expression to a youthful expression. So I put that to the test by not working out for the 3 months that I took it. And I took it religiously. But what I did, more importantly, before I started, is I did a DEXA scan. And that's the most scientific way to be able to measure your body composition of fat, muscle, bone density, water. And so I had those readings. I then went on TR90 for the 3 months and didn't work out. And I must say that not working out, I found very difficult. But what was amazing is the results I got, even though I didn't work out. And I did a DEXA scan then at the end. Within a month, I could just see myself leaning out. And I wasn't not big by any stretch of the imagination. I probably had a 14% body fat. Come the end of it, though, I had 11%. And I didn't work out. So, for me, what happened is I actually ended up putting on, based on a DEXA scan, 21 lean muscle mass. And I lost 27% roughly of percentage of body fat. For the first week, it was a little difficult just to get used to it. But once I got into the routine, I enjoyed it. You're eating, it's every 3 hours with protein. I had to have my secretary running, protein bar sort of to the operating room for me, and then she'd bring my shakes down. But, I actually found it really quite satisfying, and have considered doing it again. And I'm actually just about to be putting my mother on it.
Fabulous.
So
that's
yeah.
excellent.
It's a wonderful, it was an amazing product. And the other thing is that the effects last. It's not like you stop the program and they revert back immediately. I could still feel and see results occurring for months after I had stopped. And ultimately, those genes are going to revert back if you don't maintain them. It's like anything, right? If you don't use it, you lose it. So muscles in the scar, they atrophy. Well, the gene is gonna want to flip back, but there's ways to maintain that. Mm-hmm. But I think your guys are going to have an amazing. It's an amazing opportunity, and I think you'll have a great experience with it.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. I think it will be fun too, and this will be the first test month, and then we'll be able to offer it to our clients. So just in closing, and I know we could probably actually have a whole call on this. You're focusing a lot on sort of the elite mindset and the mindset of people who are achieving. You mentioned about opportunity, the equal of opportunity, and equality of opportunity and equality of outcome. And basically, I know that we can't go into that deeply, but essentially your viewpoint on what it takes to actually excel, and what is the core things to excel. And I'll stop talking and let you
at the
talk.
heart of human excellence. There's so mastery and excellence. If we look at it on a wheel, if we look at a wheel of excellence, there's at the hub of that is commitment and self-belief, and those are the human characteristics that we need in order to excel. And along with those are grit, okay, very and willpower. Okay, and there's two good books out on grit and willpower. Grit being passion and perseverance, and willpower, being your want and your need to succeed. But around that, then, we have the spokes of a wheel, where we have to look at things like positive mental imagery. We have to look at distraction control.
Oh, hello, we lost you.
We want ability to critically evaluate.
We had lost you there for a minute.
Oh, what was the last thing you heard? Anyway, there's the spokes of the wheel make up a series of mental factors that we can use to channel our goal, to our driving and striving towards our goal. But I don't believe in equality of outcome. I believe in equality of opportunity. Everybody should have an opportunity to succeed, but you shouldn't be guaranteed the same outcome, because that removes any incentive to strive for more. That removes the incentive to want to be better, to want to stand on the top step of the podium. Because if the guy who's trained and woman who's trained to be champion is going to be viewed and cared for and taken care of and remunerated or rewarded exactly the same as the person who does nothing, it really disincentivizes people. So I think we should have equality of opportunity, but you can't guarantee equality of outcome. Equality of outcome becomes communism.
Yeah. Yeah, so when we were thinking and speaking, I'm just trying to actually upgrade so that we're not going to get cut off. If we do cut off, maybe what we can just do, everyone could just hop back on, so we can just close it up. So far it's keeping us going. But for someone who's in our business, we talked about the necessity for discipline of like the small things and
right. Sure. Elite performance, we have to look at the word elite performance. Everybody thinks, again, top step of a podium. That's not what it is. Everybody has the potential to be world class.
Hold on for a second. Hold on. I have to start it up again. So that's, yeah, we didn't make it. Here we go. People are coming back on. Excellent. We'll just wait for everyone to come back. Thank you so much, everyone.
This is important. This is some of the most important stuff. So
I know. I just wait for everyone to come back on. Yeah, I can restart the recording again. And thank everyone as I'm in my laundry room. So we had the good internet. Yeah. So I'm just going to start the recording now. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. So the recording started in part 2. So we were talking about the performance and habits.
Right. So when I say elite performance, everybody has the potential for elite performance. We all have it within us, and it doesn't mean that you need to be striving to become a world champion. Everybody has their own world class, and they just need to strive to be the best that they can be. And it's what we look at in terms of, we call edumetrics. Right? Or as opposed to psychometrics, where psychometrics are compared on a curve to other people, to a cohort. With edumetrics, you're only compared to within yourself growth. So my world class might be, I want to be the best tennis player at my local club. And to me, that's world class, and that's absolutely fine, because then you're going to strive to be the best that you can be. So that's why, a platform of performance, or elite performance, is for everybody. And it's not just sport, because it's about the management of the varying brain wave speeds, and each of them has associated with it a cognitive and emotional process. So that's what's self-regulation, and that's key. One of the requisites for performance. Performance is made up of Technical perfection if there's a skill in creating automaticity of that via neuroplasticity, right? That's true brain training. But then the harder thing to do, the more important requisite is the self-regulation. And that's what we all need to work on all the time. That's our ability to manage our internal environment in the face of a constantly changing internal and external environment. So how do we handle a situation? And that situation can be a disagreement with our spouse, our children. It could be somebody who cuts us off on the road. It could be at a piano recital, a dance recital, or it could be, in a gold medal match at the Olympics, right? Or as a Fortune 500 executive. It goes across every domain, right? The DNA of elite performance is the same, right? Performance is the same, and the outcome is just different, but it doesn't matter. The same training that I apply daily, and it has to be daily for change to occur, because it takes, scientifically we know it takes 66 days to create a new habit, or a new behavior or a new skill, and that falls into deliberate practice and intention and all that. But if we're going, to do that, we're always having to do it, and there's no limit to how hard or how great somebody can become, right? The sky's not your limit. Your belief system is your limit, right? So everybody has the potential for greatness, but it all starts from within, right? We can't just talk about it, right? These are actionable things, and one of the things or definitions that I talk about with elite performance or performance in general. I say surgery is a series of small steps done technically perfect, and each step requires its own focus. Right? But you can put anything in there. You can put, being a good salesperson is a series of small steps, and each step requires its own focus. Being a good CEO, and anything, right? Being a good dog walker is a series of small steps. So it's about focus. It's about those, those mental factors that drive and enable us to reach the goals that we want. And how you do small things is a mirror to how you do everything. So people who don't take the time to master small tasks or to do small tasks perfectly will never be able to have the skill to do complex tasks easily. You can't take shortcuts, and that's one of the biggest problems that we have in society now with the millennials. Right? Everything's you're on your app. You just swipe, you tap, and you get instant gratification, and it happens right away. But anything that's truly worthwhile, anything that's meaningful, that takes time, and it's about the commitment and putting the energy into and recognizing that you need a long-term goal that's going to help you through all of your short-term failures.
Well, it sounds very much like our business and how, as we say, as we've also often talked about, is that our business is a reflection of anything in life, and it represents, who we are and our ability to do things. And I would say that, well, from the sounds of it, I mean, you've studied a lot, you've put a lot of energy and efforts into everything that you've done, and as a result of that, you've accomplished a great deal. Do you ever have you ever regretted the trials and tribulations and efforts and the sacrifices that you've made in order to get where you are?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. Somebody once asked me, how do I define success, first of all, and it's about sacrifice, and success is a moving target, right? Because when I was in high school and university, I wanted to be a national champion. I wanted to compete for my country. That was massive success, winning gold medals. But then I went to medical school, and then my success was, okay, now I want to become a top level surgeon and take care of people. And in 5-10 years from now, it's about my children. So our success and what we think of success is a moving target. So that's always going to change. Sacrifice is integral to that. I mean, nothing comes easy. And the way I look at it, or how, with respect to me, would be, I would have been sacrificing myself had I not done those things, because I would have not become the person that I am. And it's not about being perfect. I mean, I strive for perfection, but perfection is elusive, right? I mean, I have a different definition of what perfection is than what other people may think. But the sacrifice and failure is important. People look at failure as a negative thing. We're not allowed to say it anymore, and I think that's comprehensively wrong, because failure is critical to success, because it's within those times that you find the blueprints of what you truly need to succeed. I mean, we can change it and we can say, okay, it's not a failure. You didn't reach your goal. You're not quite there yet, if that makes people feel better. But I mean, you only failed if you quit. I mean, otherwise, you're learning. I mean, you show me somebody who hasn't, failed or hasn't achieved every single one of their goals. I'll show you somebody who hasn't done anything. Right? I mean, it's important, and that's what teaches you. I mean, if you get success all the time very easily, you have no idea then what it means to actually have to work for it. And, you'll never appreciate what you have. You'll be surpassed so quickly by the person who's hungrier, right? Because you'll become complacent. Yeah. You need to understand what it took to get there. Yeah. I mean, and that's very important for perspective. Yeah.
Well, I think we've had a lot of great information from you, and I know that the Swedish people are probably a little tired, not just because of the time of the day it is, but because a lot of information and fabulous information and tips. And thank you so much for being on the call and sharing your knowledge. And we hope that you can come back again and speak. And next time we'll have questions from people who what they have. And if anyone does have questions, you can always send a message to me and I can pass it on or connect you with Dr. Hart, if that's all right.
I'd be happy to. Well, we've spoken about a lot of things, and if it's impacted people or it's made somebody think, I'm happy to engage. Honestly, thank you for having me. It's great to be able to talk about this. I mean, this is what I'm doing now. I've actually left my clinical practice to work on the science of elite performance, and I hope to change practices globally. So.
Well, we have Emily here says, thank you so much, Richard. I'm honored to hear your story. So
that's very kind of you. Thank you.
So excellent. And thank you, everyone, for this evening. And I'll post the recording later on. And I'll send it to you, Richard, when it's done. And I'll sort of.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for going overtime.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye-bye.
We have, whatchamacallit? Toothpaste.
Oh, you never brush your teeth, I always.
Ooh. You hit your head?
Yeah. Or not, I didn't hit it. Agnes was going to throw a ball in.
On your head? With your hand?
Yeah.
Oh, she's throwing it at you or over you?
We're just going to throw it over me.
Okay. I just wanted to check or see how it was. It's a little bit late, but well. Yeah, I know, but maybe if they, it's going to be recorded, and I'll try and, punch it up. Malin had sent a message saying that för mycket stora svåra ord och dålig kvalitet på ljudet. So maybe what I can do eventually in some other time is to have a different type of recording where it's going to be better. Oh, yeah, yeah. Mm. No, it was a very short one. It was mostly about um, it was about the products and a little bit about the research that's coming up and just different things, and so I think that there's going to be a follow up. But yeah, the man that he one of the men who was one of Richard's mentors at the university where we both went to was one of the guys he did one of the I think the I don't know one of the drugs with, so has done a lot of working with them. So yeah. Mm. Oh, yeah. So well, I mean his actual what it was is that um, he was recruited to develop and build the specialized surgical service of hepatobiliary. I can't the hepatobiliary pancreas oncology, where no service was present, located less than 10 minutes from the largest center in Canada and top 5 in North America. Within 8 years, the service was formally recognized and awarded the distinction of HPB Center of Excellence by Cancer Care Ontario. Based on surgical volumes, it was the third busiest program in the province, while ranking first with the lowest operative morbidity and mortality rates as a single surgeon service. Single surgeon, it was him. So he was doing more than like other places. Yeah. So yeah, and as the Whipple procedure, he I forget it's in his LinkedIn. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, but yeah, yeah. Is like I'm hoping that I tried to get covered, some different things, and he did speak, somewhat um, what you call it, a little. He tried to speak a little bit, simple, but it's hard when you're. Um, but he was soaking wet because of the snowstorm. So well, he says not to, when they're doing chemo to not give them not they can take everything else. They can take like they can take reishi and of course AIE10, but not tea green. So that was the one thing he said, that during chemo, no tea green. But once they're finished that, then they can do then he puts them on tea green also. Yeah. So but yeah, I hate it when there's these this kind of stuff when but we have to adapt to it. It's gonna happen. So oh yeah 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 yeah. Well, yeah, he's not sure. He's not that techie. So he's a good surgeon and he's an athlete, but he's not techie. He had tech, he had tech people to take care of all that stuff and everything. So, and as he said, yeah, had been a snowstorm, and he was, stressed out. He had just arrived back home, so it was a little bit stressful. So anyway, yeah. So I'll be talking to you tomorrow, I guess. Did you forward that scanner? Oh, you did? To my email? Which email? Oh, did it? No, you. Would that be at Be Healthy New or?